Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan. We're here on the south coast. I'm in the Motherland and we're north spawn, and I plan to go down the zero line. It's my usual approach when I'm in a medium tank or any kind of a mobile tank, particularly tanks with reasonable gun depression, especially when we're top tier as well. I think the best chance of progress on this map is actually along the eastern side of the map, either whether you're north spawn or south spawn. Going across the middle can be very, very problematic. And the beach approach, again, is very problematic and tends to be decided long after it's irrelevant, shall we say, to the outcome of the game. And it can go either way, because you can meet people, you're right at the top corner, say at B1, and then you fight your way across them and you meet another group coming up, but you've been shot up at this point, or people come through the village, swarm you from the flank and things like that. So I always thought the beach is a rather problematic approach, and I think it's particularly problematic from the north side, because you then have to drive all the way down and come up a very steep hill to get into the cap circle, and the enemy generally have plenty of time to respond to this if they're going to do so. That said, this side of the map is no guarantee of success either. It depends on support from the central area, particularly the tank destroyers that go on the eastern side. They can get a crossfire into the enemy coming up from the south, and it's often better to sort of sit back, let the enemy come up from the south, take the crossfire from the base area and then push on, rather than push hard at the start. Whereas in the southern side, again, you have to sort of wait for people to come at you, because you don't want to expose yourself to flanking fire from the base area. However, I'm getting an intermittent targeted. I had a crew on it that didn't have 6th sense. So I'm getting an intermittent targeted, but I'm not getting a continuous targeted, so I reckon it was the light tank that was doing it. That said, there are some enemy tanks that have managed to push very aggressively up along the sunken road there from F6 to C8. So I'm pushing after this Batchat 12T, and he has driven straight off the cliff and managed to roll the tank without doing himself any damage, which is quite a feat, really. I was more circumspect coming down off the cliff because I didn't want to damage my tank. It was much more likely that I would do so. So we've taken out the Batchat. The enemy are actually in our base area, but there are a few allied tanks around. We should be able to handle them, I think. And I knew there was a tank around the corner here, so I felt I had to deal with him before I did anything else. That's an Object 416, which I recently made a video about, and I decided I don't like, and I'm not playing them ever again if I can avoid it. However, I am able to at least put premium rounds through the front glacis from this angle onto this tank. They're very low profile. And if you're facing them with a weak gun, you can have real trouble putting rounds through them, because the surfaces are very, very severely sloped, shall we say, and the turret is well rounded. Unless you can get the kind of flat angles on the thing, or you have very good penetration on your gun, you're not likely to do a lot, or you have trouble doing damage to an Object 416. I initially got caught up in the moment and didn't realise, but then the cap circle went off and I realised the situation down around the cap wasn't under control that I thought it was. Things have actually taken a turn really for the worse. There are 3 tanks down there. One of them's already in the cap circle. One's approaching from the western side of the map, having probably slipped through the town. And there's a tank destroyer interposing itself between our 2 heavy tanks that are attempting to come back to reset the cap and the person in the cap. So I'm probably the nearest tank to the cap circle with a clear path back to the cap. Now I decided to come up here because I was afraid there might be a tank along the edge of the cap area who would have shots down into me if I came up along the sunken road. So I came along this way. There are 2 tanks in the cap circle right now, so things are looking a bit grim. And one of them has left, actually, which is actually a big favour to us, really, because I don't know if I'd have made it if the 2 tanks remained in the cap circle at that point in time. I've loaded high explosive, and hopefully I should be able to get a reset in any moment now. But I fired that one, and I think it actually went over the Fatherland. So We take a bit more care, we aim that one, and we get the cap reset in. And now I switch back to the premium rounds, the APCR. Because we're dealing with a Fatherland, it's a very well armoured tank, and we want to get the lower plate. The Fatherland is the lowest hit point tank, so I prefer to take him out, and he probably does more damage as well than the object, the Type 59. Plus the Fatherland has fairly high alpha gun. We take out the Fatherland, the object, or the Type 59 decides to come in on top of me, and I've got to try and keep my armour between him and me. Fortunately he misses that shot, he puts it in behind me, and now I'm able to keep the armour for the moment, but I'm one shot kill from him. I've managed to get another hit, and I'm not sure if he was a one shot kill from me at that point in time. Fortunately for me, the Legion comes to my rescue, and I'm still hanging in there with a sliver of health. Well, it's not so bad, 100 points, but still, I'm a one shot for pretty much anybody's left. There's a tank over by the beach side, and I think I was under the impression that the remaining enemy tanks are probably over on that side of the map. That's why I've come this way rather than taking the long route around, going south and around the other way by the low sunken roads. I need to be careful, however, coming off these ridges, that I don't just kill myself, because there aren't a lot of hit points left in this tank, and it's quite easy to do. I've done it before often enough. So Panzer IV has been stopped in its tracks, and we didn't get a shot in it, I don't think, but we've gotten one. Now he's been stopped in his tracks the second time. So he doesn't get clear, and we finish him off. We managed to get the 4th kill, so 16 damaging ruins. We didn't get any other kind of damage really, and we only spotted 2 tanks. So we did over 3,000 damage, which is pretty good. We got a high caliber, a first class mastery, and a defender in this game. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this result. We did pretty well in terms of the competition that was going at the time as well for the Operation Clash of Titans, I believe. However, for every result we got like this, there was many results where we got no points at all, or maybe 1 point, because some of these medals are quite difficult to come by. Overall, we came number 1 by experience with over 3,000 damage, so we had a good amount of damage compared to the rest of our team. It also looks like to me that there is not a lot of difference between the two teams. Our team was sort of marginally better really at picking up damage. We bit more damage spread out among more players than the enemy team. I did very well alright, but I have considerably more damage than the next player, but that's probably running into the object 416 on its own and being able to deal with him relatively easy and without taking too much damage. So you can see my personal score there. Nothing really to add to it. Actually, I did pretty good on the shooting department. Not a lot of shots wasted, and that's it. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you haven't already done so, please give the channel a subscription. Catch you all again soon, and bye for now.